Hey everybody, I'm going to be answering some questions from the YouTube today. So if you're shocked by my short haircut, one thing you'll learn as you get older, comfort and utility become more important. Sorry about that, I had to take the call. So yeah, what are they talking about? Yeah, my short haircut. You get older, you care less about your looks, more about what's comfortable. Anyhow, yeah, here we go. So I'm answering a question here from Tamaru. Public question, so I'll mention it here. I hope you don't mind me making a request. Not at all. Any on processes, systems, workflows. I can no longer handle the amount of work that I have coming in, but know that I have a lot of room to improve on my processes and workflows. Love your channel. Thank you. I'm assuming he's talking about web development and web design. That is typical. I've been telling people that for the longest time now. When you become a freelancer, at first it's slow, so you have to do a couple of freebie gigs, but then quickly, well, depending on how much you work, but sooner or later, you're going to start building up so much work you won't know what to do with it. So the first thing you can do is implement workflows that will speed up the process for you. Next thing you can do after that is to start outsourcing your work to assistants. So for example, if you're a full web stack developer, but you have a preference for front end, then maybe you can start offloading the back end, or vice versa. If you have a preference for the back end, server-side coding, you can start offloading the front end to people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk about workflows. Now, I can't give you a whole workflow in a vlog, but I can give you a few tips to go in certain directions. I don't know if I've talked about specific workflows. Check my YouTube channel, check out web development workflows. I may have done a video specific to that in the past. Anyhow, here are a couple of tips. Number one, you want to sell the client. You want to sell the client on what it is you're delivering to them. A lot of the times the clients will have some wacky ideas about what they want. And one of your jobs as a web developer, web designer, is to guide them gently and suggestively into a particular direction so that in the end the project is better for them, for whatever they want to accomplish, but it's also better for you, because if you can direct your clients in a particular direction, then that could save you a lot of time. So for example, in terms of designing user interfaces, I would speed up the process by leveraging all the templates out there. Not necessarily using a template, but at least using them as a way to quickly show clients particular looks. So instead of you stripping up from scratch 3 or 4 different looks, you tell the client, say, listen, web development, web design has been around for a while now, so we have certain things that are common that we know work on the web, we know work for web apps, we know work for websites. So I'm going to show you a couple of designs, 3 designs that I picked out based on what you told me what your needs are, and these are suggested layouts. Now we can use the templates and save you a lot of money, or we could design from scratch, but at least we could use some of these templates as a starting point so you can see visually where we're going to be when we get to the end. So I just gave you my little spiel. So that approach will save you a lot of time. It will give clarity to your clients as well, so that there'll be less back and forth. So that's in terms of the visual aspect of the app. In terms of the functionality, you have to flesh things out as much as possible upfront. So if you're developing a web app, you should try to be as detailed upfront as you can. And then what I would do is I would deliver to them dummy, if you will, dummy apps, dummy web apps, where the functionality behind the buttons is just faked. You don't actually do all the database connections and all this kind of stuff. You just sort of have screens that are dummy screens, so they click on this and they can see what it would be like when you would populate a table. You just hard code it in, et cetera, et cetera. So again, this will speed up the iterations, because the worst thing you can do is start writing lots of database code and lots of authentication code, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then have the client having to change their minds and say, can we change this? Can we change that? So you have to restructure your database. You have to start changing all your SQL calls or your ORM calls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So by using templates for your visual components, by using dummy pages, if you will, for the functionality, sort of mimic the final functionality, these are two suggestions that I can offer in terms of speeding up the workflow. I could put out like a 1 hour course, I suppose, on this, and maybe I'll put out like an abridged thing, something in the future. But I'm working on so many other things. My next course, I think I'm going to put out for public consumption, if you will, something more structured, is going to be on the business end of things. Anyhow, I hope that helps, and well, I'll let you go. Bye-bye.